When I finally discovered it, it's all a risk. The minute you were born, the journey became a risk. If you think trying is risky, wait until you receive the bill for not trying. Welcome back to Light Your Life. I'm your host, Clara Sterling. In our last episode, we confronted the voice of fear within. Today, the gentle battle continues. We're moving forward, embracing the struggle with grace and writing our own legacy of a life well lived. This is part 2 of the unseen battle. No regrets, only forward motion. Then I will tell you something else. It is never too late to make that choice. Really, you are never too old to decide your focus, to decide where you are going to focus your efforts, and to push to make the most out of every situation. So think not about what you have been through. Do not think about where you were. Think about where you are going and choose to make yourself smarter. Choose to make yourself stronger. Choose to make yourself healthier. What if I can pull off a miracle in my own life? What if I can become someone no one thinks I can be? If you can just keep believing when nothing in you is working, when all your external forces have finally given way, if you can just manage to somehow keep hoping, just hope. You don't have to believe sometimes. All you have got to do is hope. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, and it is the evidence of things not yet seen. You just have to hope sometimes. You may not be strong enough to believe, but you can always be strong enough to just hope. Man, I hope grace comes. I hope I make it through this. So I just want to tell you this. Don't let those thoughts diminish you. Those thoughts that are trying to diminish you, the thoughts telling you you're not enough, the thoughts telling you things won't get better, the thoughts that say you are your mistakes, the thoughts that say you are your past, the thoughts that tell you that you are worthless. Do not let those thoughts define you, because they are lying to you. You are more than that. You are more than a conqueror. You are more than what you are going through. You do have a purpose. You are awesome. You are talented. You are beautiful. You are special, despite what you've been through. Most of us have been conditioned not to take a risk. People ask me all the time this question: what does it take to be happy? And I always tell them it is really simple. It is one word: progress. In short, progress equals happiness. If you keep growing, you are going to feel alive. And if you keep growing, you are going to have more to give. And when you are growing and giving, that is when life is magnificent. You can't be successful if you say one thing and do another. So I'm here to tell you for real, success, number 1, starts with you. Real success is when you say one thing. And if you do what you say 70% of the time, you'll be average. If you do what you say 80% of the time, you'll be real good. And if you do what you say 90% of the time, you will be great. Because very few people do what they say they're going to do. It all sounds good coming off your lips. When I finally discovered it, it's all risky. The minute you were born, it got risky. If you think trying is risky, wait till they hand you the bill for not trying. But as you go through life's challenges, you must look at it and embrace whatever comes to you. Do not run from it. Step toward it. Don't try and duck it like most people do. You see, most people want it easy. Easy come, easy go, easy run. But if you can remain hopeful in spite of all adversity, If you can just go to bed and just wake up tomorrow, every time you wake up, that is a sign from the universe. It is a sign that it is not through with you yet. The mindset of purpose and the power of choice. I do not know what your future is, but if you are willing to take the harder way, the more complicated one, the one with more failures at first than successes, the one that has ultimately proven to have more meaning, more victory, more glory, then you will not regret it. Whatever you choose for a career path, remember the struggles along the way. They are only meant to shape you for your purpose. And do not let your mind control you. It is not helpful to you to be envious. If you know what you want, then you know when you are failing. On the other hand, if you don't allow yourself to know what you want, you can keep everything foggy and unclear. If you do not set out the conditions for your success, then you can avoid your responsibility because it's not clear. The problem with wanting something is that in all probability, you're going to have to work for it. You are going to have to make sacrifices for it. And it is certainly possible that you want to avoid that. Failing to make any of that clear protects you right now. But it is really hard on you over the medium to long term. How can I wake up early in the morning? Wake up early. How can I work out consistently every day? Work out consistently every day. You have influence over your mind. You just have to gently assert it. You have to decide that you are going to be in control, that you are going to do what you want to do. Laziness does not get a vote. Sadness does not get a vote. You go at what you are going to deal with, and you deal with the difficult parts of it. When you handle those hard things close at hand, making those hard decisions right now that you don't want to make, learning those things that you do not like to do, but you know that in order for you to get where you want to go, this is one of the hoops that you have to flip through. Like, you know exactly what you want. Exactly what you want. You know exactly when you want it. You know exactly what it tastes like, what it looks like, what it smells like. Like, before you really blow up and get success, you literally have it in the palm of your hand without physically having it. So I am serious, guys. You have got to know what it looks like. Don't ask for security. Ask for adventure. If you fight with faith, you fight with prayer, eventually you will realize a truth. Everything that you went through had a purpose. You have to learn what you want in your life. It is okay to sit in a room by yourself, in a chair, and just think about you. People's lives are not what they want them to be. And so then you have to ask why. Well, forget about tragedy and catastrophe, because that is self-evident. But one of the main reasons people do not get what they want is because they don't actually figure out what it is. The probability of getting what's good for you is low, which might be better than what you want, right? Because you might be wrong about what you want, but maybe you could get what would be good for you. Well, why don't you? Because you do not try. The thing that makes individuals special, truly, really special, is they are always looking for a competitive edge. So it can be seen how a champion in sports has the same mindset. It is about winning the battles, continuing to improve, learning new ways to stay ahead, staying ahead of the game. Clarity is what gives you the idea of success. When you can see and you can think and you can react with a clear mind, the power of clarity and authenticity. He said, if you worry about what other people think, you will always be their prisoner. So, unless you are prepared to be their prisoner, at some point you must make a stand. If they are hurling dirt on you, if they are constantly trying to rebury you, then you are never going to get out. You've got to just stop worrying about what they think so that they cannot actually affect you. They can only try to influence your mindset. You do not think this way. Okay, here is what I would like if I could have it. I do not mean it in a manipulative way, to force the world to deliver you goods or status. That is not what I mean. I mean something like this. Imagine you were taking care of yourself, like you were someone you actually cared for. And then you thought, okay, I'm caring for this person. I would like things to go as well for them as possible. What would their life have to be like in order for that to be the case? This perspective shifts your focus from just wanting to genuinely nurturing your own potential. No one will believe in you until you believe in you. And so good people often become seduced. They are seduced by the chatter of their loudest fears. Do not let them. You have got to understand who you are trying to become. Believe in your ability to get there, to become that person. Understand that to continue to beat yourself up. Beating yourself up for something in the past will not serve you. And so, for that very reason, let it go. We are comfortable in our comfort zones. But the moment we start to go blue ocean, around our next level of mastery, our fears inevitably come up. The mind is an instrument. Do not let it play you. So it is a really powerful thing to remember. Just remember, the mind's job is to hold on to things, to kind of attach to things. And it is your job to say, I choose this thought, and I do not choose that thought. Because whatever you give energy to is what grows. Where your energy goes is what grows. And it is like we have to choose where we put our energy, because that is where we go into manifestation. So the more consciously we can make those choices about where we are letting our mind go, the better it is going to be for us, because we are going out into the unknown. It is human. If you look at the psychobiology of it, and you are studying the pure biology, there is a term called homeostasis. Human beings are hardwired for a steady state. What happens is when we come up with a new idea, and when we see a new opportunity, and we start to leave our comfort zones into the zone of the unknown where greatness lives, we get scared. And so I think it starts with this. Realizing your life is not random. You are not here by accident. When you arrive on whatever scene it is, heaven touches earth. Your goodness, your life, your creativity is heaven touching earth. And that perspective changes the way we show up in the world. Releasing the past with grace. No nostalgia for catastrophe. I think what that means is this. When you leave what is not good, you wash the dust off your feet. And you do not look back. And that is a very powerful lesson, that there are no excuses whatsoever for not getting up and getting at it. That is what it means. It even means that when people are beset with a catastrophe like that, they are prone to use that as an excuse for not going about their business. Because they can say to themselves, well, I wouldn't accept. There are always good reasons, believe me. There are always good reasons for not doing what you should. That's for sure. The reasons pile up day after day to not do what you should. Especially because you are aiming at things in the future. You can put them off indefinitely, right? This is because of the demands of the day. When you leave somewhere terrible, do not look back. There is no nostalgia. That is letting the dead parts of yourself go to experience drastic positive change. And here's the thing about running from your problems. Running away from your past. Have you ever noticed that when you run away, it tends to follow you? And if you are going to follow the good, there is no excuse not to do it. And that means no excuse whatsoever under any circumstances. There is no excuse whatsoever for not getting at what you should be doing. Imagine you could press pause on a thought. Imagine you could use that time to just reflect, to take a step back, to observe. Imagine you could fast forward to the past, learn from it straight away, and then press play again when you felt comfortable. Mindfulness really allows you to find that clarity. It allows you to find that time so that you can actually navigate your mind and not just be led by it. Let's suppose you could dream any dream at night, any dream you wanted to dream, and that you could, for example, have a special power within one night to dream 75 years of time, or any length of time you wanted to have. And you would naturally, as you began this adventure, you would fulfill all of your wishes. But now, let's have a surprise. Let's have a dream that is not under your control. Well, something is going to happen to me, and I do not know what it's going to be. Then you would get more and more adventurous, and you would make further and further out gambles as to what you would dream. And finally, you would dream where you are now. When you realize that every single day could be your last, or when you appreciate that no matter how long you live, life is a very short ride. You just sort of let go of the fears, and you let go of the limits, and you live full on, and you seize opportunities, and you have real conversations with real people, and you sort of wear your heart on your sleeve, and you bring on the fullness of your authenticity, and you do whatever it takes to get your loftiest dreams done. The point is that there are some games you can't play unless you are all in. And the other thing that's so interesting about being alive is that you are all in no matter what you do. This is going to kill you. So I think you might as well play the most magnificent game. The most magnificent game you can while you're waiting. Because do you have anything better to do? Really? Why not pick the best thing possible that you could do? Why not do that? Maybe you could justify your existence to yourself that way. I think you could. That is what it looks like. You know, people find such meaning in their responsibilities. It stops them from asking questions about what life is for. Passion, change, and the next level. Follow your passion first. And you have got to sit there and ask yourself, okay, what am I truly passionate about? What do I genuinely enjoy doing? And when you feel that way, honestly, you feel like you have never worked a day in your life. It is the most fun thing in the world. You get up in the morning excited about what you are doing. And you have got to be really honest with yourself about it. If you wake up in the morning and you are dreading going to work, dude, do something else. Do something else. And those are hard decisions to make. But when you make those decisions, it is a liberating experience. And you find out that the rewards will come. Change is inevitable. So here's what is going to happen. No matter what is going on in your life, it is not permanent. Everything is going to change. So there are two things you can do with change. You can react to it, or you can participate in it. It is going to change anyway. So if you keep waiting around, you are going to have to react to the change. And now you are behind. Your best laid plans will change. So what you have got to start doing is anticipating change. and just start living your life in preparation for change. No matter what you are doing, you could be doing more. Remember that. There are 24 hours in a day. You have got to use as many of those hours as you can to prepare stability for yourself. And internally, if not this moment, when? If we are not going to speak up now, I don't think it will be easier or better a year from now. We wait for things to calm down. We wait for it to be the right moment. But this is the right moment. We look back a year in our life, or 5 years ago, and we rarely say, I'm disappointed I spoke up. I'm disappointed I did my art. I'm disappointed I connected to somebody. We don't. What we regret is not doing that. That responsibility is never given. It is taken. And then if you choose to take responsibility, all of these doors open up because there is no right answer. What there are challenges we can sign up for and emotions we can experience. And so what I am suggesting to you is this: do whatever it takes to be in the moment, to stay positive and on your game, and to optimize your craft, and to spend time with your loved ones, and take care of your fitness, and learn something new every day, and enjoy the beauty of sunsets and star-filled nights. And at the same time, as much as possible, please do not lose perspective. Stay connected to your mortality. You are naked. You have nothing to lose. Dreams should be pure. And I think a lot of times when we are born, we actually wind up going backwards. And it seems like the more we mature, the more responsible our dreams become. The more governors we put on ourselves and our ability to dream. And it is always a fight for you guys. A fight to make sure your dreams always stay pure. So it is not a matter of pushing beyond limitations. It is really a matter of protecting your dreams, protecting your imagination. That is really the key. And when you do that, then the world just seems limitless. Commitment, honesty, and small changes. Because you can't do this without commitment. You have to commit to it first. That is the act of faith, where you have to say, I am going to act as if being is good. I am going to act as if truth is the pathway to enlightenment. I will act as if I should pursue the deepest meaning possible in my life. And there are reasons to do none of those things. They are real reasons. So it is really a decision, but you can't find out the consequence of the decision unless you make the decision. That is the nature of life. But God, in the sense of being the self, the deep down basic, whatever there is, and you are all that, only you are pretending you're not. It is time for you to be honest with yourself. Are you becoming the person you want to be? Is this the direction you want to take your life? Are the people around you in your circle wanting the best for you? You see, most people do not know this, but a lot of problems can be solved just by removing things. Removing some foods, some people, and some habits in your life. We think that small changes are not significant, but we forget that big changes are accumulations of small changes. We plan for that elusive Monday to start to change, to do something different. Why? You must start now. Right now, the moment you decide is the moment you start. Don't forget what the ancient Persian poet Rumi said. What you seek is also seeking you. So, what are you seeking? What are you afraid of? Some people will not want you to change. Your change represents a willingness to become more. And this makes some people around you insecure. But remember this, You never lose real friends for standing up for yourself, or real opportunities, or real relationships. You lose abusers, manipulators, and narcissists. You lose control freaks, attention seekers, and leeches. This journey is not an easy one to take. Remember that when you are in the middle of it, it will always seem dark, but it is always darkest before the dawn. So what if you dated the wrong person and you learned a hard lesson? So what if you chose the wrong major and had to start over again? So what if you cherished a friend who turned their back on you? It is called life. We learn, we hurt, we love, we cry, we laugh, and we do it all over again. Experiences make you unique. Embrace them. Don't be scared of them. Never be a prisoner of your past. It was a lesson, not a life sentence. Continue to learn, continue to grow, and embrace your mistakes, for they make you who you are. This is life, and you can be sure it goes on. And do not you forget this. None of us are getting out of here alive. So please stop treating yourself like an afterthought. Eat the delicious food. Walk in the sunshine. Swim in the ocean. Say the truth that you are carrying in your heart. Be silly. Be kind. Be weird. There is not time for anything else. Savor this life, for it is all we have. Time for you to get after it.